Ugh, my head, what happened? Mister, said a young kid. Oh, hey there, kid. Where am I? Asked Belle. Oh, you're in Grinton, said the young kid. You're adorable. But can you tell me where the leader's lives? Asked Belle. Okay. She's over here on top of that hill. She's very kind and nice, said the kid. All right. I'll see you later, said Belle as he did a small pat on her head. Goodbye, mister, said the kid, waving as Belle started to over to the leader's house. Okay. It's clear that I'm not in America anymore. The architecture looks too old. But those clothes the little kid had, I must have either gone back in time or go to another universe, thought Belle as he looked at the architecture. As Belle kept walking around, the townsfolk were doing their daily routine, some selling produce, others selling clothing. It was a kind and very nice and welcoming atmosphere. At least the townsfolk seemed nice, thought Belle as he approached the base of the hill. Oh, hello, said a lady who seemed to be in her early 20s. Do you need any help or anything? Yes, as a matter of fact. I couldn't seem to find a map anywhere, said Belle. Oh yeah, I have one right here, said the lady as she pulled out a map from her pockets. Thank you. And your name? Asked Belle as he took the map. Sarah Grinton, said Sarah. Oh, you're the daughter of the mayor? Asked Belle. Oh heavens no. I'm the town's mayor, said Sarah. Oh, you seem a bit young? Sorry if I offended you, said Belle. Not at all. I get that all the time, said Sarah. You see, my father died from an illness. My mother is also suffering an illness as well, and the nearest hospital is miles away. Could I take a look? Asked Belle. Are you a doctor? Questioned Sarah. Yes, actually, said Belle. Perfect, said Sarah as she started to head up the hill. Just follow me. As they started to head up the hill, Belle saw the sun starting to set with its iconic orange sunset. Thank you for this, said Sarah with a small smile. Oh, it's no problem really. It's my job, said Belle. No, genuinely thank you, said Sarah. You see, when my great-granddad built this town with only 5 people, he wanted a town that was safe from any conflict with any kingdoms. He wanted a place where his family could live in peace and not have to worry about adventures or politics, a now peaceful place. But that came with drawbacks. See, he died defending the place from monsters. Since we're so far out from Oreo, or really any kingdom with adventurers, note. There are multiple mini-dungeons outside of Oreo, but Oreo is the main one. We're also so far out that there are no hospitals. The best we could do was a small clinic with a couple of nurses. So genuinely thank you, said Sarah as she held the hands of Belle. I don't know what to say, said Belle as they stood there for 5 minutes. Come in please, said Sarah as she let his hands go and opened the door. Mother, I'm home, said Sarah. Oh, you're back already, said a woman who looked to be in her 80s. Mother, I told you to stay in bed, said Sarah as she rushed to make her mom sit on the couch. It's fine, darling. I'm not that sick, said Sarah's mother as she coughed into her hand. Sarah, who is this? Mother, this is Belle. Is a doctor is here to help you, said Sarah. I was passing through and heard about your condition. I'd like to see if I can fix that, explained Belle. Thank you, said the lady as they helped her to a bed. Okay, I need you to relax said Belle as suddenly glowing white circles appeared on his hands. What? Said Sarah. H-U-H, said Belle. You're a mage? Asked Sarah. I didn't know I could do this until today, said Belle as his hands hovered over the old lady. Whoa, said Belle as he seized her body, and what was wrong with it? What is it? Asked Sarah Belle. I know what the problem is, said Belle. It's pneumonia. What's that? Asked Sarah. It's a disease, non-contagious variant and treatable, said Belle. Have you been around her in between the time she got sick? Asked Belle. Well, no, I was away on a business trip to get more medical supplies, said Sarah. Was anyone else around her? Said Belle. No, no one was around her. Why? Asked Sarah. Well, in the first 2 days it's contagious, it's how it gets around. But give her one of these every day, said Belle as he instinctively grabbed a bottle of pills from his pocket and handed it to Sarah. What are these? Said Sarah, checking out the bottle. They're antibiotics. They should help her recover, but with her age it might get dicey. So just tell me if something goes wrong, said Belle. Thank you, said Sarah as she hugged Belle. No problem, said Belle with a small smile as he hugged back. What time is it? Asked Belle as Sarah looked at her watch. It's about 10:36, said Sarah. Shoot, is there an inn in town? Asked Belle. Well, no, but you could stay here for the night, said Sarah. I couldn't, said Belle. I insist. You did so much for me and my mom today, just for the night at least, said Sarah. Fine, said Belle. I'll go sleep on the couch, said the ever-respectful rabbit. No, you are not sleeping on the couch. You are sleeping on a nice, comfortable bed. You got that, said Sarah as she towered over him. Yup. Yes, okay, said Belle, surrendering with his hands up. Perfect. You'll be staying in my room tonight, said Sarah. Wait, what? Said Belle as Sarah dragged him into her room. Fine. I'll pick up some coffee, said Belle as he ended the call. Jesus, can't they make good coffee in the staff room? Said Belle, frustrated while stuck in traffic. Guess some tunes would be nice, said Belle as he turned on his radio. Nope. Nope. Not at all. Rock. Nah. Oh, come on, Belle said as he kept switching channels until he landed on the News 1. Today, we interviewed Dr. Sabina Ross as she had made a major breakthrough in cancer research and her thoughts about progress towards curing or at least weakening cancer without surgery or chemotherapy. Me and my team have been very hard at work. Hell, some of us have been sleeping at the lab. We've gotten very far into our research. We've discovered all of the cancers have the same one genetic gene, said Dr. Sabina, then taking a second to gather her thoughts, then continuing. If we're able to exploit that and use it against cancer, we might be able to kill it or at least disable the cell. But of course, our top researcher and head doctor, Dr. Cranel, has been a vital part of our research, and the fact that the man is still getting sleep and checking out patients is a miracle, really. But he doesn't like to have interviews, hence why he isn't here, when it should be him taking the credit. God damn it, Sabina, said Belle. I told you not to mention me. Belle sighed as he kept switching channels. He then promptly gave up and looked ahead towards the road as the cars started to move. He pressed down on the accelerator until out of the corner of his eye he saw a red sedan, and before he knew it, his vision went blank. Arg, said Belle as he lifted his head from the car's airbag. What? Arg, the hell happened? Sir, do you hear me? Said a man as Belle turned to face him, realizing it was a paramedic. Go save them. Not me, said Belle as he held his head. Fuck, said Belle, barely able to keep himself awake. No, sir, you're more injured. I can't do that, said the paramedic. I'm declining treatment. You can't help me. Go help them, said Belle weakly as he now held his chest as the paramedic had no choice but to help the other car. At least I think that's how it works. Fractured ribs, probably broken. I can't feel my legs, thought Belle as his breath was heavy. This it, huh? At least I did good. Belle gave a last chuckle and finished his final thoughts, then collapsed onto the dashboard, never to rise again. AH, yelled out Belle as he sat up. What is it? Said Sarah as she jumped. Nothing. It's nothing, said Belle as he and his heart calmed down. Are you sure? Said Sarah as she sat down next to him. Yeah, just a bad dream, said Belle. You mean a nightmare? Said Sarah with smirk. Okay, to be fair, I never really did well in my language class, said Belle. You went to school? Said Sarah. Yeah. Wait, how else do you think I became a doctor? Said Belle. Apprenticeship? Said Sarah. Fair, said Belle as a pregnant silence overtook them. I want to go to Oreo, said Belle. What? Said Sarah. I've been thinking about it while you were asleep. I want to do good in the world. What better place than a city? It probably has slums, or at least people that need help and can't afford it, said Belle. Okay then, I'm coming with you, said Sarah. What? Said Belle as he turned his head to face her. I owe you one, remember? Said Sarah. You saved the one family I had left. I owe you so much. I just did my job, Sarah. You don't have to dash, said Belle as Sarah put her finger onto his lips. Shush. You might think you only did your job, but you did something that meant so much to me, said Sarah softly. I want to help you. Please just let me do this one thing, begged Sarah till with Belle became silent for what seemed like an eternity. Fine, said Belle. You can come along, but I won't be responsible if you're hurt. Deal, said Sarah with a smile as she got up. I got to go pack and see who's willing to take over as mayor until, or if I come back, said Sarah. See you later, Belle, said Sarah as she gave him a small peck to his cheek, as Belle became red as a tomato. Did she just, thought Belle? No, I'm sure it's just a sign of good faith. But what if it isn't? Oh God, why is she so beautiful now? Calm down, Belle. It'll pass, said Belle to himself as he pushed himself up. For context, Belle has seen plenty of naked people before. He's never been in a relationship, so he's pretty embarrassed about small romantic gestures. 3 days later. Bye, Mom, said Sarah as she waved goodbye. Goodbye, honey, said Sarah's mom, waving back in better noticeable health. All right, you got the payment? Asked the wagon leader. Yes, here you go, 20,000 valis, said Sarah with her usual joy. 20,000, yelled out Belle. That's just the normal price, said Sarah. Where I'm from, you could buy a CA wagon and horse with that, said Belle. Just get in, Belle, said Sarah as she grabbed his arm and dragged away the very confused Belle into the wagon as it started to move. 1 week later. Belle, said Sarah. Belle, yelled out Sarah, which startled Belle. What? Said Belle. We're here, said Sarah as Belle looked out and saw the city. Whoa, said Belle as he looked at the Tower of Babel. The gods say it reaches the heavens, said Sarah. Wait, gods? Asked Belle. You don't know about the gods? Said Sarah. I'm from way out west, said Belle. Oh, I've heard that place is dangerous because of the lack of kingdoms and laws, said Sarah. It's not that bad, said Belle. Well, either way, the main ones you need to know about is the Loki and the Freya Familia, since they're the most powerful, then Dian's sect, which is one of the best medical familias, explained Sarah. Oh, so let me guess we're joining them, said Belle. Yup. Hopefully anyways, said Sarah as they approached the gate. Welcome to Orio. You have payment? Asked Guard 1. Yep, right here, said Sarah as she lifted a bag of valis. All right. Reason for entry? Asked Guard 1. Business, said Sarah. Okay. Do you plan on visiting or setting up shop? Setting up shop here, said Sarah. All right, just hand over 20,000 valis, and you're good to go. All righty, said Sarah as she handed over the bag, then grabbed Belle's hand and lead him on. What is with her energy? Said Guard 2. I don't know. She's like a puppy if it was a person, said Guard 1. All right, Belle. Now I know you want to be the best doctor in the world, said Sarah. Not the best, but a good doctor, corrected Belle. Whatever. But don't you even want to be an adventurer? Said Sarah. Think of it. You'll be fighting your way through the dungeon, fighting tooth and nail every day, not to mention the feeling of you being alive. No, Sarah, for the last thing, you're not convincing me to be an adventurer, said Belle. Fine, but at least sign up for it just in case I need some help, asked Sarah. All right, I'll sign up, but I'm only doing it to help you dash. Help, medic, healer, anyone, yelled out an elf, Belle believed as she dragged what was presumably her comrade with other people behind her, heavily injured. OSH dash, said Belle as he rushed over. I'm a doctor, what happened? Yelled out Belle as the elf placed down her comrade. Lion, said the red-haired girl who was still managing a smile as Lion, which Belle presumed to be her name, had tears coming out of her eyes. Promise me you'll be good, okay? Hang on, Elise. You're going to live, said Lion as she held her hand as Belle pulled off her armor and rolled up her sleeves. All right, heavily damaged arm, probably broken, bleeding profusely. Belle muttered under his breath, trying to access the girl. How long was she bleeding for, said Belle. What? Asked a distraught Lion. I said how long was she bleeding for, said Belle. Maybe 10 to 15 minutes? Lion said, unsure how long it took them to get to the surface. Amount of blood, probably half or less, said Belle as he reached into his doctor's bag and pulled out a needle, checked to make sure it was what he wanted, then tried to find a blood vein in her arm. What's that? Said Lion. It's morphine. It'll numb the pain and make her more stable, said Belle. Oh, all right, said Lion as Elise was visibly getting weaker. She's losing consciousness, yelled out Sarah, who kneeled next to Belle. Fuck it, said Belle as he put the morphine back and instead pulled out a needle with some kind of red liquid and then stabbed it into her heart, then pushed down on the needle, putting the red liquid right into Elise's heart. All of a sudden, Elise's eyes shot wide open, then coughed before passing out. What did you do? Yelled Lion. I gave her adrenaline. It'll keep her heart pumping more blood, said Belle. But her heart dashed, said Lion. What is it? Asked Belle. She got pierced by a piece of bone from when we were fighting, said Lion. And you didn't tell me, yelled Belle, scaring the elf. I'm sorry you didn't ask, and I didn't think it was important, and dash, said Lion, trying to explain herself. Look, just calm down. Fuck, said Belle to Lion, then to himself. Fuck it, I'm going to have to operate here, Belle said as he pulled out a scalpel, tweezers, and some kind of canister, and a pair of gloves, and pulled up her shirt, revealing her undergarments, then moved those out of the way as Sarah used her blanket to cover the operation. said Ryu, blushing at the indecency from seeing her captain naked in public. Lion, I'm going to have to open her up and try to get the fragments out of her. Is that okay? Asked Belle. Do whatever you need to do, said Lion, not knowing who this stranger was even though he was actively trying to save her captain. It's Belle Cranel, Belle said as he gave her a small warm smile. Thank you, Mr. Cranel. And my name is Ryu Lion, said Ryu. Pleasantries later, operation now, said Belle. All right, Sarah, keep covering her. The public doesn't need to see her naked. Roger that, said Sarah as she kept holding up her blanket. Belle was careful after he put on his gloves and grabbed his scalpel that was set on a rage/towel. He careful made an insertion above Elise's heart, then pulled away and carefully opened up her body, revealing a small broken bone sticking out of Elise's beating heart. Okay, you've done this before, Belle. Just like you've always done it, except without the other people's help in the public with no life support. Shut up, anxiety. Belle said to himself as he grabbed his tweezers, then clamping shut the blood veins connecting the heart from the rest of her body as he did it again and again before finally grabbing a hold of the bone with another tweezer and using another to hold down the heart. With some pressure, pulled out the bone as blood started to come out of the heart. Ryu became very worried but remained silent as more people gathered around to watch from a distance as he grabbed the canister, shook it a little, then some kind of white foam covered the cut as the bleeding stopped and the wound. The hard part's over now, Belle, just the finally stretch, Belle said as he slowly removed the tweezers from the veins as the heart started to pump blood again, then closed up the insertion he made holding it together with two tweezers with Ryu's help, then stapled it the wound together, then pulled her bra back over her you-know-what, then pulled her shirt back down. If you're a doctor or something, can you tell me if this is how you would actually do this? Never thought I'd need to do an operation in the open, let alone in public, said Belle as he leaned back. What was that foam thing? Asked Ryu. Oh, it's a thing I made. It's called biofoam, said Belle. It basically acts as a cover until the wound heals, then it just dissolves. If you play Halo, you should know. Oh, I think I get it, said Ryu. What happened? Said a girl in white hair. They're all heavily injured. I managed to stabilize and get a broken piece of bone out of, I'm presuming it, the girl's name is Elise. Out of her heart, said Belle. Oh, all right, but what about the rest? Asked the white-haired girl, which now that Belle looked at her looked like some kind of medic. Ryu, asked Belle. The rest are just stab wounds and slashes, nothing is sticking in them, said Ryu. Okay, I should just be able to heal that, said the medic girl as she began to heal them with some kind of magic. Whoa, said Belle as he stood up looking at the medic as she magically healed a girl, closing up her wounds. Have you never seen magic before? Asked Ryu, who was now standing next to him. He's from far out west. Magic is pretty rare there, explained Sarah. Either way, I'm Sarah Hart. I'm Ryu Lion, replied Ryu as they shook hands. I'm hungry, said Belle as his stomach made a loud sound that agreed with Belle. I know a place we can go to after I deal with my familia, said Ryu. Familia? Said Belle, confused. Yes, it's how we're adventurers. You get a god's fauna, you become a part of their familia. Have you never heard of this? Familias aren't unheard of around the world, said Ryu. I just come from a small village, and the city, I went to medical school, didn't really talk about it since it never really affected them, said Belle, scratching his neck. Makes sense, said Sarah. I still can't believe there's enough of them around to cause a juggernaut attack again, said Ryu to herself. Said Belle, did you say something? Oh no, I didn't say anything, said Ryu. Okay, said Belle, just taking her word for it. Thank you, Mr. Cranel, said Ryu. Dr. Cranel, Belle corrected with another warm, small smile. God, why does he look like a rabbit, and why is he so cute? Thought Ryu as she internally blushed, but remained with a somewhat cold face on the outside. ACHOO, sneezed Belle. Man, why do I get the feeling someone's relating me to a rabbit? You good, Belle? Said Sarah. Yeah, just a sneeze, replied Belle. If the spaces between characters speaking is too big, tell me. This is so good, said Belle with his mouth full while eating a plate of eggs, hash brown, bacon, and eggs with a glass of orange juice. Well, it's the least I could do. You saved my familia, said Ryu while in a green-maid outfit. Also, what's with the maid dress? Asked Belle once he had swallowed his chewed-up food. Oh, for the outfit. I owe the owner Mamma Mia for. She basically destroyed the place trying to catch some bad guys, said Chloe, who was walking by Ryu, who then sharply and very coldly sent a death stare towards her direction, causing her to leave pretty quickly. Property damage, Got it, said Belle. Yes, said Ryu, embarrassed. Oh well, I mean you got the bad guy right, said Belle. Well, yes we did, said Ryu. You should eat with us, said Sarah. I dashed, said Ryu, but was interrupted by Mamma Mia. Or why you get back to work before I shove my boot up your ass? Yes, Mamma Mia, replied Ryu as she quickly got to work as a girl with gray hair checked in on them. Oh hey, you guys must be the people who saved the Istria Familia. Yeah, and not that big of a deal, said Belle, trying to downplay what he did. Oh, you're a cutie too. My name is Seer Flova, said Seer as Belle blushed from the compliment. Pleasure to meet you. The name's Sarah Grinton, said Sarah, introducing herself as she shook Seer's hand. And this doofus here is Belle Cranel. Hey, said Belle. Now, is there anything else you would like? Asked Seer. No, I think we should be going now, said Belle. All right, I'll be right back with your check, and you should be good to go, said Seer as she walked away. The food is amazing, right? Said Sarah. I know it's so good, said Belle. Anyways, Belle, can you cook? Asked Sarah. Yeah, my friends always said it's the best food they had, but I'm sure they were just being nice. Really? Try me, said Sarah. Here's the check, and did I hear something about you being a good cook? Said Seer. Well, my friends say that. I personally don't think it's that good, said Belle. You can always try and cook in our kitchen. Come in before opening. I'll try and convince Mamma Mia to let you cook, said Seer. I don't think I should bother you guys, said Belle. Please, said Seer with the baby eyes, for me at least. Don't fall for it, Belle. It's only baby eyes. You don't even know this person, thought Belle. Then he gave up as he sighed. He said, fine. Yay? So, dungeon, medical familia thingy, said Belle as he and Sarah walked down the street. Yeah, there are lots of medical familias, but with your know-how you should get into the insect familia easily, said Sarah. But as for the dungeon, that's where most of the healers get their ingredients from. How? How do you just know all of this, said Belle. I kind of wanted to be an adventurer growing up. My dad always told me tales of heroes, but I decided against it. After all, my town needed me, said Sarah. What about you, Belle? Oh, my parents died when I was young. I grew up with my aunt and uncle. Until they died, my uncle died in a war and my aunt died from a disease. But they taught me a lot of things. My aunt was a doctor, and my uncle was a medic in the military, said Belle. I'm so sorry, Belle, said Sarah. Don't be sorry. It's just life. It happens, but you'll meet new people to call family, said Belle as he smiled with Sarah joining him. He's really optimistic. That's nice, thought Sarah. He doesn't look half bad either. Probably works out. I wonder what his muscles look like. And oh bad Sarah, and oh horny thoughts. Sarah was visibly blushing, confusing Belle. Are you okay, Sarah? Asked Belle. Oh no. I'm fine, said Sarah as she waved her hands in front of her. Okay, said Belle as they walked down the street. They saw a building named Mayaka's Medicinal Potions and Supplies. Belle then started to speak. Let me check this place out really quickly, as he headed inside. Oh, all right, said Sarah as she watched him jog over. Hello, said Belle as he walked in. Hello there, said a blue-haired man. I'm guessing you're the owner, said Belle. Correct. I am Mayak, god of the Mayak Familia. I'm guessing you're a medical familia, correct? Said Belle. Yes, I try and make the best quality potions and medical items, said Mayak. Great. Can I join your familia? Said Belle. I wouldn't recommend it. We're in grave debt currently, and dash, said Mayak. Why? Asked Belle. Why what? Said Mayak. Why are you in debt? Oh well, I had to get a metal arm for one of my children, and that put me in debt, so the rest of the familia left other than her, said Mayak. I'll join anyways. If you're willing to do that for one of your children, I would gladly be a part of the Mayak familia. Debt or no debt, said Belle. Really? I guess come over here into the back, said Mayak. I have a friend who is with me. Give me a second, said Belle as he left to get Sarah. That boy is something else. Why would he join us? He has plenty of other options, thought Mayak, but I am grateful that we will be getting at least one new member to join us. This is my friend Sarah, and we'll be joining your familia as of today, said Belle. Right this way. I have to give you Fauna, said Mayak. Okay, said Belle as he and Sarah walked into the back. Right, that should be about it, said Mayak. All right, now, Sarah and I will go register with the guild and go adventuring, said Belle. Good, but before you go down into the dungeon, do come back my only. While originally only child Naza is currently out, I do want you two to meet her before you go, said Mayak. All right. We'll see you later, said Belle as he and Sarah started to leave. We got the familia problem solved now. What's Sarah? Said Belle as he looked over to see Sarah daydreaming. Oh gods, he looked so hot. His muscles are so toned for his age, thought Sarah, and some other very unholy thoughts. Sarah, said Belle, stopping and waving his hands in front of her. Yeah, said Sarah. Are you okay? Said Belle. I'm fine, said Sarah. If you say so, said Belle as they continued to walk towards the guild. So this is the guild, huh? Said Belle. What, not impressed? Said Sarah. I just expected more. It just looks like a government building, said Belle. Well, because it practically is, said Sarah. Oh, god damn it, said Belle. What is it? Said Sarah. That means bureaucracy, and I hate paperwork, said Belle. Oh, I guess I can do the paperwork. I'm used to that kind of stuff managing the town back home, said Sarah. Great, said Belle as they headed inside. Excuse me, can we get some help here? Asked Sarah as a woman with pointy ears walked over. I can help you. My name is Ina Toole, an advisor for adventurers, said Ina. Perfect. See, my name is Sarah, and this here is Belle. We were both wondering if you could help us become adventurers, explained Sarah. Registration. I should have some papers here, give me a minute, said Ina as she started to go through some drawers below the front desk. Here, and if you can sign, here, here and here, you should be good to go, Ina said as in between she lifted papers and pointed a pen on lines. Can you give me a minute to read through these? Asked Sarah. Of course, you know, people rarely read through documents, said Ina as Sarah took the papers and started to read through them on a nearby couch as Ina left to do other duties. Do you two happen to be dating? Asked Misha. What? Yelped Belle as he started to blush. What is it, Belle? Asked Sarah, lifting her head from the papers. Nothing. Ha, said Belle as Sarah just returned to reading the documents. So, you're not dating her, do you like her? Said Misha. Where did you even come from? Said Belle, blushing heavily. I say again, do you like her? Said Misha, clearly enjoying teasing this random boy. No. Well, yeah, but not like that, said Belle. Oh well, you'll come to your senses soon. The name's Misha, said Misha, sticking her hand out. Belle Cranel, said Belle, shaking her hand as his blushing started to reduce. And this should be it, said Sarah as she dropped the documents onto the front desk. Oh, I'll go file this. Do stay. You'll soon get an advisor for the dungeon, said Misha as Ina walked over. Ina, I'm guessing you gave them the papers? Asked Misha. Correct. Since you don't have an advisor, I will be your advisor. For the two of you, said Ina. Awesome, said Sarah. Hey, how did you guys write down the correct familia? Said Misha, coming back. I thought I spelt it right, said Sarah. You wrote down the Mayak familia. They haven't had a single new member in years, said Misha. Oh no, it's right, we joined his familia just a bit ago, said Belle. Oh, good for him, said Misha as she left once again. Right. Now, as for the two of you, there is a guild starter kit that you can buy, and this part is optional, but you can come with me to go over some of the monsters in the upper floors you can come up against, said Ina. We'll take the dungeon kit, and we'll take you up on that offer. I need to know what horrors I'm gonna have to kill daily, said Sarah. Oh, I'll get your gear, give me a minute, said Ina as she left to get the kit. 30 minutes of explaining the monsters later, I'm not writing that out. That should be all the upper floor monsters. Now, since it is your first day, I recommend you stay in between floor 1 to 3, as they are the most beginner-friendly, advised Ina. All right, thanks, said Sarah as she started to run to the dungeon. Sarah, yelled out Belle, don't go running off. Come and catch me, rabbit boy, said Sarah. Rabbit boy? Belle said, offended. Good luck. And don't get hurt, said Ina, sticking her upper half out the guild doors. We won't, responded Belle as he chased Sarah, as Ina had a small smile on her face. So, when's the wedding? Asked Misha. Misha, Ina said, while keeping her voice down. What? He seems like a good guy, and it's about time you found someone, said Misha. We both just met him today, said Ina. What? He had a good first impression, said Misha. Hiya. Pow. Slice. Stab, Sarah said as she finished killing a group of goblins. Please stop rushing and using raw strength to kill everything, said Belle as he followed her and picked up whatever magic stone she passed. It's only goblins. They're the dumbest of the monsters, said Sarah. Bahai Dash, Belle said before getting cut off. Stabby, said Sarah as she quickly turned and stabbed the goblin that tried to sneak up on her. Sarah, please, slow down. I can't keep up, said Belle. Oh, come on, Belle. We're only on floor 4. Let's get going, said Sarah as she rushed to get to floor 5. Sarah, Ina said. God damn it, said Belle as he chased after Sarah. Stab. Boom. Slice. Death, yelled Sarah as she cut down monsters. We shouldn't be here, said Belle. Belle. You're overreacting. What's the worst that can happen, a minotaur? Said Sarah as a massive roar could be heard with stomping as Sarah was hit right in the ribs and sent flying into a wall, knocking her out instantly, then collapsing onto the ground. Sarah, screamed Belle as he looked over to Sarah, then the minotaur. Belle knew he had 2 options. 1. He could run, but the minotaur would focus on Sarah, or 2. Fight the minotaur and probably die, but would let Sarah have a chance of living. Safe to say he went with 2. HHHH, yelled Belle as he just charged the minotaur. He leaped and tried to stab it only for the knife to break as he kicked off of it. Well shit, said Belle, only holding the handle of his knife as the minotaur charged using its horns and stabbed right through Belle's chest as blood was spat out from his mouth before getting pinned to the wall before lifting him into the air. Just die, said Belle as more adrenaline started to pump through his veins as he grabbed its other horn and started to try and tear it off. The minotaur moved its head trying to get Belle to stop as Belle, using all of his might and strength, broke off a piece of the horn, then stabbed it through the top of its skull, killing it, with its body disappearing, including the horn that was impaling him as he dropped to the ground. Arg, groaned Belle as he felt the hole in his chest and his rapid bleeding. He lifted his head to see Sarah still unconscious, bleeding out. Belle then took 5 minutes of gathering strength and using morphine on himself before starting to crawl towards Sarah. The only thing Belle felt was blood gushing out, but he pushed through, eventually reaching Sarah as he pulled out his magical medic bag and started to treat her wounds before posting her and himself up against the wall. Then, and only then, did he start to treat himself, but he already started to lose conscious while treating Sarah. The last thing Belle saw was a blonde human woman and another green-haired elven woman behind her. Ace was a simple girl. She wanted to take revenge against the Black Dragon for killing her parents. Every day she went down into the dungeon to kill monsters. But today was different. She was chasing minotaurs, but when she saw a boy no less than 15 stabbed through with a horn and another girl around the same age unconscious on the floor. She was about to intervene, but she saw the boy, who looked remarkably close to rabbits, rip the horns off the minotaur and stabbed it into the skull of it, killing it. Ace immediately went to get Riveria as soon as she saw the monster died. This way, said Ace, hurriedly rushing towards the scene of the fight as Riveria tried her best to keep up. Ace, slow down, Riveria said as Ace stopped and looked at the scene. Gods, Riveria thought as she saw a boy with a gaping hole in his chest with the girl next to him bandaged up. Can you save him? Said Ace. I'll try, said Riveria. I don't think he's alive, however. Riveria then started to heal him with his wounds slowly closing up. Ugh, groaned the boy. Huh, Riveria said, pretty surprised that he was alive. Mom, said the boy, slowly opening his eyes. I am not your mother, said Riveria as the boy fell back unconscious. We should probably take them to the hospital, Ace said, pointing out the obvious. Dungeon? Ow, said Belle. I said to hold still, said Airmid, checking out his injuries. This is why you don't be so reckless in the dungeon. It wasn't my fault, said Belle. Then why did you have a massive hole in your chest? Said Airmid as she lowered his arm. I had to save Sarah, or she would have been killed, said Belle. It is still your fault, no matter the context, said Airmid. You're lucky Lady Riveria and the Sword Princess was there, or else you would have been dead. Yeah, I'll have to thank them later, said Belle. Right, now off you go, and I swear if I find you in this hospital in a week, I will kill you, said Airmid. Don't get hurt. Got it, said Belle as he got up to leave. Bye. Don't do anything stupid, said Airmid as Belle left the room. That boy is going to be back here soon. I can feel it, said Airmid. What were you two thinking? You had me worried sick that you two didn't come back. I thought you two died, scolded Mayak, with Naza shaking her head in disappointment. We're sorry, said the two in a Dejiza position. Please forgive us, said Sarah, holding out a basket full of baked goods. We didn't mean to get hurt. Belle said with him holding his hands together. Ah, you kids are going to get yourselves killed. But I can't hold it against you. You were just reckless, and you won't make that mistake again, right? Said Mike. Yes, said the two. I forgive you too, said Mike. Thank you, Lord Mike, said the two, extremely happy that they got off scot-free and bolted to the door. Where do you two think you're going? Going to a restaurant. Yeah, a restaurant to celebrate us surviving. No, you're not, said Naza. Why not? Said Sarah. The hospital bill, said Naza. Oh, that, said Sarah. Sarah, you're going to be working here for a week. And Belle, since we don't have any money, we'll be sending you over to help pay off the hospital bill. Wait, why does he dash? Protested Sarah before Naza cut her off. Because Belle has proven that he can be a doctor, and while they're having a shortage since the city over has a breakout of a new disease, said Naza. What? Said Belle. Yeah, it's pretty bad. You cough a lot, sometimes blood, you feel exhausted all the time, you get a really bad fever, you lose a lot of weight. Some people have rashes, stomach pains, and more. It's really bad. Their doctors are overwhelmed and a lot of them are sick. We're hoping since our doctors are high-leveled that they'll be more immune, explained Naza. Coughing with blood, exhaustion, terrible fever, loss of weight, rashes and pains. If I remember correctly, that sounds like tuberculosis, thought Belle. But then again, this world might have different diseases and illnesses, so I can't be 100% sure yet. All right, I'll head over to Arario's General Hospital, said Belle as he left the room. Now, Sarah, go grab this order from the smithing district, said Naza as she handed over a paper. Roger that, said Sarah as she quickly left. All right, that should be it for the tour. Now, Belle, I know you probably don't want to do this, said Airmid. I do. I kind of feel bad for making you, an amazing woman, have to deal with me, said Belle. Oh, said Airmid, blushing a bit. All right then, you can start at the pharmacy. Got it, said Belle as he walked over. Belle served each person with kindness, doing more than what paid people would do. Next, called Belle as a woman in more poorer clothing walked up to him. What can I help you with? Asked Belle. I need some medicine for my kid. He has a cold, explained the woman. Give me 1 second, said Belle as he went to the back for some time before coming back out. Here you go, said Belle, placing the potion of the table. That'll be 2,000 valis. Oh, said the woman as she counted the money she had. Sorry, I don't have enough. I'll be going now, the woman said on the verge of tears. Wait, I do have something else that's for free. It's a new kind of medicine I made myself, said Belle as he used his infinity bag. Or was it a bag of holding? His doctor bag. If they don't tell me anything. Belle pulled out some orange tube with a white cap and handed it to her. Give this to him for 1 week, 1 pill each day, and swallow it. Don't chew on it. Just swallow it and use water if you have to. How much, said the woman before Belle cut her off. It's free, said Belle with a smile. What? I can't possibly, It's only experimental. Please do report if anything bad happens, said Belle. Oh, okay, said the woman, thank you. Just doing my job, ma'am, said Belle as the woman left. Belle, what did you just hand her? Asked Airmid, walking up. Oh, nothing, said Belle. Airmid sighed. Belle, you can't just hand out free items. It wasn't from the pharmacy, I promise, said Belle. What was it then? Questioned Airmid. It was a personal potion I had on me, said Belle. A potion that was orange, said Airmid, not convinced. What? I like a more orangey taste, said Belle. Whatever, said Airmid as she made a little sound holding her head. Head. Are you okay? Asked Belle. I'm fine. It's just, ugh. I've been stressed out lately, and I've been getting headaches, said Airmid. Here, said Belle, quickly pulling out a bottle. What is this? Said Airmid before reading the label. Ibuprofen, said Airmid. It's a drug from the West. It should help with your headache, said Belle. Okay, said Airmid, taking some and giving it a few seconds. It's not a potion, so it won't work instantly, but try and get some sleep, said Belle. Oh, but I still have work to do, said Airmid. I'll just deal with it. Come on, let's get you to bed, said Belle, guiding her out of her familia's hospital. Where do you live? Asked Belle. I live on this street, let me show you, said Airmid, leading the way to her house and entering. Feeling better? Asked Belle. Yeah, a lot better, said Airmid, laying on her bed. I could give you a massage if you want, offered Belle. That sounds lovely, said Airmid, sitting up and then putting her legs in a cross as Belle got behind her. Uh, could you move a bit more forward? Sure, 1 second. All right, said Belle, sitting right behind her with his legs open as he started to massage her back. Hmm, said Airmid, clearly enjoying the massage, moaning every once in a while. Not that way. Get your mind out of the gutter. All right, said Belle. That should be I dash. Airmid fell backwards, sleeping, falling asleep on Belle's chest, making his eyes go wide. Ha dash, Belle said, cutting himself off. How the hell do I get her off of me without waking her up? Thought Belle as he tried to move her with her, just snuggling deeper. Belle tried for a solid 5 minutes before just giving up and going to sleep as well. Shit. Belle had woken up about 15 minutes ago, but he was still trapped underneath Aurorio's saint. Of course, he tried to move her out of the way, but he failed, and since he didn't want to be a dick and wake her up, he was stuck until, okay, Belle, this is a pretty bad situation, but all you have to do is hold out for a bit longer, and once she moves, then you can leave to avoid the very awkward situ dash. Airmid started to move around and eventually got up. Shit, shit, oh shit, dash. It's been so long since I got some good sleep, Airmid said, stretching while getting up. Ha dash. Belle, yelled Airmid, getting up as Belle rolled himself off the bed. How? Why dash? Airmid took a solid 5 seconds to process and remembered what had happened yesterday. Why is your shirt off? I don't know, replied Belle. Belle, yelled Sarah as she bursted in. Some people told me you were dash. Belle, and Airmid then turned towards her. It isn't what it looks like. I swear, said Belle. Yeah, sure, said Sarah while having the biggest grin possible. Playboy Belle going at it. You're a playboy? Said Airmid. I'm not, said Belle. You've got to believe me. Sarah, tell her you're only joking. Playboy rabbit, teased Sarah. Belle silently cursed his existence as Sarah finished teasing him. She took a minute to actually check out his pretty toned body. Damn, some nice muscles, thought Sarah. You could grind meat on those, thought Airmid as they both just stared at Belle's chest while he was cursing God, or whatever was cursing him and his existence in this world. Sarah snapped out of it after a minute and told Belle to hurry up and get a shirt on. Lord Mayak wants to speak to us before leaving. What? Belle said, panicked as he quickly grabbed his shirt and bolted out the door. Belle, wait your dash, said Airmid, realizing he left his magic doctor bag. What's in here anyways? Belle, if you don't mind me asking, where have you been in the last 24 hours? Okay, so it started dash, said Belle as he processed to explain is very great detail about what happened. So you didn't go at it with Airmid? Said Naza. Yes, cried Belle. I believe it, said Naza. What? Said Sarah. I've never seen a man more desperate to convince a woman that he didn't sleep with one, explained Naza. Well, one that didn't cheat on their partner. It's true, said Mayak. Gods can detect lies, you know. Huh, said Sarah. Anyways, me and Belle should head to the dungeon. Bye. Wait just a minute, said Mayak. Find someone to go with you. Do I have to? Complained Sarah. I don't trust you after the last time you went down there. You almost died, said Mayak. I. I can go with them, said Naza. Are you sure? Asked Mayak. You don't have to if you don't want to dash. I'll do it. Give me a minute to get my gear, Naza said, and soon leaving the room with Mayak being silent until he was sure that she couldn't hear him before speaking. Sarah, could you leave the room for a minute? Okay, replied Sarah, turning around and leaving the room with Mayak waiting until he heard the door close. Belle, could you watch over her for me? Said Mayak. What? Said Belle. I want you to look after her. There's a reason why she has a prosthetic arm, said Mayak. Why? Asked Belle. It's not my place to tell you. It's up to her. Judging from his reaction and her earlier hesitation, most likely something happened with her in the dungeon. Belle gave it a thought before replying, I'll look after her. Thank you, Belle. I'm just doing what my told me to, replied Belle. Speaking of, let me update your status to make sure you're at your strongest, said Mayak, making Belle turn around and lifting his shirt before doing the little ritual. LV1. Strength, G, 231. Endurance, G, 112. Dexterity, H, 334. Agility, F, 512. Magic, I0. Ah, no magic, huh? Said Belle. Don't worry, magic is rare. Only race guaranteed to have magic is the Elven one. Then again, it takes years to master, explained Mayak. Let's go, said Naza with Sarah just behind her. Just up ahead, said Naza as she lead them on. I got it, yelled Belle as he went by Naza and quickly cut down 2 goblins. Boom, yelled Sarah as she brought down her claymore. I still have no idea how you can wield that, said Belle. I had to carry logs since I was 5. It builds strength. Cut the chit-chat, we're almost to the 5th floor, said Naza as she quickly went by. Geez, let us have some fun, said Sarah. The party continued to move into the dungeon with all 3 of them making quick work of any goblins and kobolds and collecting their drops for some extra coins. And bang, said Sarah, slicing the kobold in half. You know, where did you get that claymore? Asked Belle. Oh, a nice guy gave it to me. I went to a blacksmith to get my armor done, and he gave me a claymore that he made a while back that didn't sell. I don't get why it's really good, explained Sarah. Speaking of, I do need to get better armor. Guild armor isn't that good compared to blacksmith work, thought Belle before saying, what's their name? Think it was Wolf Krotzo. Yeah, Wolf Krotzo. Cool. I think I'll check it out later today. I do need to get new armor. We're here, said Naza looking up from her map. Sweet, said Sarah. She doesn't seem to have any problems or issues. Was Lord Mayak just being overly protective? Thought Belle as Naza casually shot arrows into a group of goblins before kneeling and grabbing some ingredients. We got the ingredients, let's keep dash. Run. Monster party. Get out of here. A group of men and 1 supporter on the shorter side were running for their lives as a horde of monsters and 1 minotaur were running down the hallway. Shit dash, said Naza before quickly kneeling and shooting arrows to cover the retreating men. Ah, yelled the supporter as they tripped with monsters rapidly closing in. I got it, yelled Sarah. Right behind you, said Belle as he followed quickly behind. Watch out, yelled Sarah as she did a massive swing that covered the hallway from the left wall to the right, cutting down monsters like lawnmower. Coming through, said Belle as he went under her and did quick slashes and rushing to the person. I got you, said Belle as he grabbed the supporter and quickly dashed back. Let's go, said Naza, firing 1 last arrow. Roger that, said Sarah, giving her claymore 1 last swing before starting to run. Are you okay? Asked Belle with the supporter remaining silent. Probably in shock. I would be too if I almost died like that, thought Belle before using his leg to kick off a run. Keep going, said Naza. How are you holding up, Sarah? Asked Belle with no response. Sarah, said Belle, stopping. Why did you stop? Said Naza. Sarah isn't here, said Belle. I'll dash. Take her. I'm going back for her, Belle said, shoving the girl into Naza's arms before turning and hauling more ass than he could ever get. Wait, get back here, said Naza, seeing Belle run off. Be safe. Sarah, yelled Belle. Die? You stupid monsters, go die, said Sarah, completely surrounded and cutting down as many monsters as she could. Sarah, yelled Belle. Belle? What are you doing here? Said Sarah, bringing her claymore down on a kobold. I'm here to save you, replied Belle, quickly turning to slice a goblin. I don't need WH, yelled Sarah, narrowly avoiding getting hit by the minotaur leading the monsters. Now I do, said Sarah as she began to run towards Belle. Run, yelled Belle, looking around to find anything he could use to help her. I got it, thought Belle as he pulled out some plant fiber from when they were collecting stuff and tied it around some cloth he got off the ground. Then he put in a rock and started to swing it. Keep going, yelled Belle as he kept swinging faster with the minotaur catching up to Sarah. He's on top of me, yelled Sarah. Take this, you Goliath, food dash, yelled Belle, throwing the rock and hitting it right on his head with blood spewing out of it as the rock embedded itself into the minotaur's skull as it collapsed before disappearing in a black smoke. Did you just dash? Said Sarah, shocked. I think I did dash. Holy hell, you just killed a minotaur, said Sarah. I did it without almost dying this time, replied Belle as they both celebrated. We should probably head back before Naza thinks we're dead, said Belle. Yeah, we should, said Sarah.